Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome you to another session of Facebook Live with myself, Kevin Jorgensen, and Rick Verbeek. Glad you could join us this afternoon. We're going to try to entertain you with some of the highlights and news of this week's proof summary and answer any of the questions that you have. I think we got a lot of exciting information to share with you this afternoon, and hope that you can stick with us here for the next 45, 50 minutes. And we're going to let you know. So, Rick, great to see you again. Hope everything's good in PA. Why don't you lead us off with some highlights of this week?
Well, thanks, Kevin. It's good to be here this afternoon and share the Select Sire story of our summary of where what happened. And I think we look at a few different things before we jump in here, but just from a genetic ranking standpoint, the proven sire list is always kind of our report card, and we have to feel very good about how that turned out for us today. Looking at 33 of the top 100 proven bulls, 9 of the top 20 proven bulls, and some of your all-time favorites are right there at the top of that list. So feel very, very good about that. When we always talk about changes, right? I mean, it happens every proof time. There was a TPI formula change. However, very little re-ranking occurred as a result of that change by adding feed saved into the feed efficiency dollar formula. And then we look at just overall changes. On the average, the active genomic and proven bulls, we saw very, very little upward or downward movement, which is a good thing. It means that you're seeing and getting what you thought you were getting when you purchased those bulls, and they're delivering in your herds here today. So that's what we always hope for in genetic evaluations, and this really was a proof round that bared that out. As we jump into our program here today, one of the things we'll talk about is this new tagline and slogan, make longevity her legacy. And that's really always been important in our breeding world at Select Sires, wanting to make long-lived, healthy kind of cows, profitable kind of cows. In today's schematic, when we think about where we're heading with the combination of sex semen and beef on dairy and the trend toward milking an older herd of cows, having healthy old cows is going to be very critical to the bottom line. We've introduced a new index called Herd Health Profit Dollars, HHP, and we think this is really the future of where we need to go from a breeding program so that you can have the right kind of cows as your herd transitions into a slightly older cow or older herd of cows. Basically, some of the features, this is really a selection index with more emphasis on fitness, more emphasis on mastitis resistance. Mastitis costs everyone a lot of dollars for every case. We're estimating it's a $444 cost. So mastitis costs people lots of money. We have the tools now with CDBC evaluations and Zoetis evaluations to do a much better job in improving genetic resistance to mastitis, and that's a big feature of HHP dollars. And yet, unlike some of the other profit indexes, we continue to emphasize type, particularly shallow udders and correct teat size and placement. So all this information is available on our website. We're excited to roll out this new selection index. It's something that we've been selecting for in our own internal breeding program for a while. And when you look at our top 15 proven bulls, I think it's going to be a pretty familiar list of bulls. Highlighted by our new graduate, Huey. Certainly Frazzled was a major step in the right direction, and he ranks extremely well for that trait. Millington, Everest, Divine, and Hard Rock, and a few bulls that we'll talk about here later on this afternoon. When we look at the genomic list, another very familiar who's who. Kevin, if you could forward the slide to our G-Force bulls. You've got Apollo, Shine, new release NextGen bull, Massey now available as a G-Force bull, Bangkok, Game Day, and several other bulls. So a lot of familiar names on that list of G-Force HHP bulls, but a new selection index that we're quite excited about, and look forward to talking more about you as you have questions and look up this information on our website and other marketing materials as we roll out and feature HHP dollars as a new way of looking towards the future.
Well, I'll just add one more thing on HHP dollars. The good news for you today, folks, is after you're done listening to us today, you can go to our website. Our directories are up already on the website with all the new information. Additionally, we've created a new piece called the Genetic Selection Guide that has different categories of bulls listed out, really very easy, quick reference guide that's out there that you'll be able to use. And I think you'll find it really, really useful. HHP Dollars is part of that. So hopefully you'll enjoy seeing that. So as you said, Rick, a pretty good day on the Proven Bull ranks, and I think it's pretty easy to start with maybe what was the biggest news in the industry, and that's the number top 10 TPI bull, number 7 TPI bull in the breed in Woodcrest King, Doc. It says here 3,000 daughters, can't be wrong. I'm going to let you take the first stab at this, Rick, because you're the guy that helped to develop and bring the bull in, and talk about what we're seeing here.
Yeah, I mean, it's, what an exciting day for Doc himself, adding, the number of daughters he did now, over 3,200 milking daughters and 1,000 herds. So 3-to-1 daughter to herd ratio, I think, is huge, proves that this bull does it consistently across the country, across the world. A bull that went up 76 TPI points, 74 net merit dollars. You see those beautiful udders and those beautiful cows, and that's what we see day in and day out. He's now the number 3 tight bull in the breed, but he's more than just a pretty bull and a pretty tight bull. I mean, this bull brings a production pack to it as well. He's 35th in the breed for protein at 60 pounds. He's over 1,700 pounds of milk. And, just one of the really, I think a bull that should be the celebrated bull of the proof round with what he did and that added reliability and what he's doing for customers around the world. Great udders, beautifully balanced frames, high production cows, and just a customer satisfaction bull. In January, Kevin, at just over 5 years of age, he's already surpassed a 500,000 units in sales. And, knock on wood, a bull is healthy. He's popular. He makes a lot of semen, and the demand is certainly there for him to continue to climb up the charts on the all-time sales list. So extremely excited about this bull and what he's offered and what he's done for our customer herds around the world.
Yeah, Rick. I mean, this bull has done some things I don't know that few bulls have. To be able to, he's a crossover bull in my mind. He can do much more than, he entered the arena as a showcase selections bull. He's certainly a lot more than that. He's a bull that's had a big influence for a lot of our customers globally. Was the number 1 unit bull at Select Sires last year at over 205,000 doses. Makes daughters across the globe. This daughter here that's on the screen, I just happened to get this in yesterday from one of our folks down in Australia, and this is actually a King Doc daughter that's very good as a young cow. She's got a Moran P son that actually is going to be released into the showcase lineup later this year, goes back to the Chief of Deans. He just does it everywhere. Those cows were across the globe that we showed you. And so he's going to have this major influence, and couldn't be more excited about a bull that has this kind of appeal and popularity. Be patient, folks. It's a supply and demand world. We're going to do our level best. The good news is the bull's healthy. And so we're just going to keep bringing them out to you as soon as we can. And as you look at a perfect linear profile and just put it all into one package, it's quite a deal to have a bull like Doc that really is a game changer for a lot of folks with that combination of milk and type and 60 pounds of protein. But the other side of it is, folks, is that luckily we use this bull as a sire fodder. He's done some amazing things on the son side. These are familiar bulls to you, and Hancock, Handsome, and Hanford. All 3 of them in the top 50 of the breed for type. They add that production. Hancock's kind of the earliest of the 3. He's got beautiful calves out there. He's that bull that adds the A2 part of it. Doc's A1, A2. Hancock is A2 with that good production, high type, ranks right in the top 50 of the breed. Those 3 full brothers going back to Global Cow of the Year, Cookie Cutter Mogul Hanker. And then you take the next generation, and this cow that's pictured here on this screen, this cow is the mother of Fanons and Hanley. A couple different views of these 2 exciting bulls. The cow just went excellent 90 as a second calf cow. She's just fresh, less than a month, and off to the races and doing well. I saw her drive back in February up at Seamers. Love the cow. and love what she's doing in terms of her sons. Hanan's right at the top of the charts. He's the number 4 type bull in the breed for genomic bulls at 385, but at nearly 2,900 TPI and A2, and now he's even BB kappa casein. He fits that mastitis resistance that Rick talked about initially. And then his brother Hanley, just the great components, A2, beautiful linear profile. So we're really excited about not only Doc himself, but the next generation of sons and even grandsons in this situation. And we're going to share a little more Doc stuff down the road. I won't steal too much thunder on that, but the influence is going to be massive.
Yeah, and another proven bull that had a really good day that I'm excited about, Kevin, is 7H13740 Roland. Here's a Modesty son out of an 87-point Bombero. He added 144 daughters, went up 52 net merit dollars and 47 TPI points. He's now the number 1 net merit bull at Select Sires, proven bull. He's number 10 in the breed. He's also the number 13th bull on the official TPI list. So a bull that really did all the right things here this summer. You can see him at 2793 TPI with the 322 daughters, 176 classified daughters now, and 1.85 on udder composite. As a bull, it just continues to get better every day. And you see that nice group of daughters on the right-hand side of the screen. Fortunately, I was out to be able to get out and travel here in the last couple of weeks. And, as I was walking pens and looking at cows, Roland was the bull before proofs that really jumped out. Late lactation, first lactation cows just have developed beautifully. Big rear udders, balanced frames, moderate size, yet they do have some width and some capacity. And I think going to be fabulous 3- and 4-year-old cows. So Roland is certainly another feature bull. While Doc kind of steals the show, Roland a little bit more quietly has really snuck up the charts. And we talk about herd health profit dollars. He's our number 10 bull for that particular index ranking as well. So a bull that's really checking all the boxes with net merit, TPI, and HHP. A really, really strong day for the Roland bull.
And I'd echo what you said. I was on the road last week as well. You were in the East. I was in Minnesota, and we saw the same kind of cows. So it's really reassuring that we see a lot of the same things.
Yeah, exactly. And another bull that had a very nice day for us is the 250H 13736 Hard Rock. Kevin just got done highlighting mogul Hanker and her contributions through a lot of her grandsons. And Hanker's got a 94-point full sister back home called Mogul Handy. And she's done a very nice job for Cookie Cutter in that breeding program. But Hard Rock is another bull. Added over 600 daughters to his proof, went up $38, 44 TPI points. The rankings in the proof is in the pudding. He's 32 for TPI. He's one of the top 50, in fact, number 16th milk bull in the breed, number 32 for protein at 61 pounds of protein. And another bull with over 1,100 daughters now and 375 herds. So if you're looking for a production bull, a milk, a protein bull, Hard Rock is definitely a bull that's capable of doing that. I think you can see that in the daughter photos, that long, clean, angular neck and long midsection and frame, kind of cows that spell milk, and that's validated in this bull's current proof. He's been a favorite of mine just because of the cow family that he comes from, but now really validating himself as one of the elite proven bulls in the breed today. And a little different kind of a Modesty son, a big milk Modesty son, a bull that's going to give you a little bit of added frame and stretch. He does what I think Modesty does well. It's going to add a little bit of set to the leg and flexibility, athleticism, and mobility in that respect. So another really strong proven bull here that just got better with more data as we came along here this time.
Yep, and that's going to be a bit of a consistent theme about data and adding data. But before I talk about the next bull, I wanted to bring your attention to, and you maybe saw it on social media, you'll see it in our publication and that new directory. We came out with a new designation this time called Mastitis Resistant Pro. And it's basically as Rick talked about HHP dollars, we're in the situation as a sire team that we've been utilizing not only just somatic cell score, but CDCB mastitis, Zoetis mastitis, and trying to combine those to really move the needle on mastitis resistance. Because as Rick said, beef on dairy changes the dynamics of things, and as more cows maybe won't live on sand, they'll live on separated solids. They're going to need different natural resistance to mastitis, and we put a lot of emphasis on this. And so you can see it there. We've got a ton of bulls, that 24 proven sires and 89 G-force bulls that meet this designation. And so we're really excited about this. And the bull I wanted to mention first, and you can see the designation there. I got a little circle and arrow there. They look for that logo for Mastitis Resistance Pro, but following the same theme that Rick just talked about, data and adding and getting better. And I think maybe in a sense, maybe starting with proven bulls, you ask yourself, well, I use all genomic young sires. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, if you're going to use genomic young sires, you want them to turn into great proven bulls. And that's why we feel so strongly about time after time of having these bulls that meet the muster and add the data. The data of hundreds of daughters, I think, is really significant. So in 7H12974 Copycat, popular super sampler, did a lot of things right. He is out over 600 daughters in his proof now. He is a mastitis pro resistant bull with his great cell score, mastitis resistant, zoetis mastitis, over 1,000 of milk now, a lot of daughters scored. They're some of my favorites. The one in the top corner there is up in your area, Rick, but those other two daughters are right southwest of Madison. Great young cows. They've just been consistent, predictable, and they're the kind that when you walk the corrals, you see them and you go, yep, I like her, I like her. And I think that's a really important theme that we want to get across, is that these bulls are adding data and getting better, because every bull we've talked about thus far added a lot and did really well. And Copycat's been a favorite of mine. That C family at Sandy Valley that goes back to Cosmopolitan has done exceptionally well. Always love those cows in this herd. So another great proven bull that did a lot of things right. Rick, why don't you tell us about the bull that we think's going to add a lot of data?
Well, exactly. You just got talking about a lot of data, and one of the bulls that we thought might have had a little bit more data, but he certainly will, is Renegade. This is a bull that, while he's not an official proven bull, he does have now a production proof, does not have daughters in his type proof yet, but he's a bull that we are extremely excited about for the August proofs. Holstein International's out across Sire of the breed, and you see a few daughter slides here of what we're seeing, daughter groups and genetic futures, some of the earliest art heifers to calve in, and a small representation of what we're seeing, not just in the Midwest, but also here in as daughters freshen around the country. He's a bull that we're extremely excited about. Did go down a little bit with limited daughter numbers this time, but I think we have full expectation that as this bull adds more data and the data catches up to what we've seen in the field with those beautiful udders and that dairy strength and those beautiful mobile flexible legs and athletic feet and legs, we are extraordinarily excited about Renegade and the portfolio of his sons with the Conways and Tauses and Parfex and ahead. So he's one to watch for in August. We were hoping to have just a tad bit more information, but official tests are when the official tests are, and it just didn't quite make the cutoff for this time. But he's certainly both still actively marketed, short on semen right now because of the demand. But we hope that he can catch back up and get into a positive situation on semen supply versus demand in the coming months, and a bull that we're very much looking forward to for August.
Well, we had 9 new proven graduates. We're not going to talk about them all today, but the nice part about several of these are right at the top of the list. In fact, a lot of them are, I think all but one of them are top 100 TPI sires or high ranking within the red and white breed or wherever they may be. So really had an exceptional group, and I think we're really happy about those. And the first one that I'll talk about is Huey. Debuts as the number 20 TPI bull in the breed. He's number 23 for net merit. One of the earliest frazzled sons to graduate to the top 100 TPI list. Had 100 daughters in his proof so far. He's going to add a lot more. The good part about as we're getting through the pandemic, and Rick and myself and Jordan and Mark are getting out and we're seeing cows, we're just excited to get out and see a lot of daughters. And we saw a lot of these bulls that everybody's asking about. The one thing about it is our eyes are maybe a little ahead of the data, as Rick just talked about in the case of Renegade. But in the case of Huey, he's been one of my favorites of the frazzled sons. He's a good mastitis resistance bull again. He's a breed leader for somatic cell score at 262. He's a breed leader for productive life. He's a breed leader for DPR. Does everything right. And a bull that I think is going to get better as he trends more data into that proof, like the Hard Rocks and Copycats and bulls we've already mentioned. He ranks as our #1 herd health profit dollar bull for proven sires. He's A2. It's been a great cow family. His mother still up at T. Spruce in Minnesota. You see these daughters here. I mean, I think he's going to be a really commercially friendly kind of bull that folks are going to really like the daughters of. And so as you see how many designations this bull fits, he's feed pro, he's robot ready, he's even a graze pro bull. This bull clicks a lot of different designations. He's been very popular as a super sampler, and I think we'll be excited to see what he adds as he comes along.
Well, great assessment, Kevin. And we're at the early days in the frazzled front with all of those sons coming, and the second frazzled son for us to graduate this time is Fusted SSI Solution, frazzled son out of the very good Rubicon Levon cow, a bull that really kind of sneaks up on you, quite honestly, when you break down the data and you realize this bull is number 26 in the breed for net merit. He's 40th overall for TPI, and he does a lot of the same things at frazzled. He's a breed leader for productive life at number 5 in the breed at 6.1. He's number 22 in the breed for low somatic cell at 2.63. He's the A2 sire, great fertility bull, which has continued throughout his career. And, you look at the linear profile, he's a 1,200-pound milk bull, awfully balanced linear profile, moderate frames like we would expect from frazzled and his sons. Another bull that puts a little bit of set and flexibility into that leg, balanced, uniform linear for udder improvement as well. Just a really solid bull to come back in now as a proven sire after a very, very successful G-Force career. And we look forward to him adding more data, which he certainly will add a lot more data with the amount of use he saw as a genomic bull, particularly popular as a sexed-only bull in the first days of his career. So all that semen that was sold made a lot of heifers, and this bull's going to add piles and piles of data over the next several genetic evaluations.
You hit it on the head, Rick, and just stay tuned is all I can tell you. Is let the data get to be the data, and it'll be like those first bulls we talked about. But we also had some bulls, we've got a big program, and we've got a lot of bulls, and not only are you going to run across bulls that are G-Force bulls, sometimes we're still sending semen out to our genetic data partner herds and getting that semen out there, and bulls graduate from that too. And in this bull, 7/8-12 985 Airjet, is an example of that. He's a bull that's got 160 daughters in his proof. He's the number 39 TPI bull. He ranks number 14 in the breed for milk at 2285. He's top 20 for protein. He's top 50 for combined fat and protein at 136. And then you add those really good udders on top of it and a pretty pleasing linear profile. This cow family has always been one of my favorites at Sandy Valley. Pure Aqua was really a great cow. And so as I see her on the top of the screen there, it was just always a cow you wanted to see in the corrals when you walk through the pens at Sandy Valley. The NextGen was an excellent numero uno. And then the Iota Amethyst cow, and then back into the Planet Sapphire. So this bull's got a proven cow family that does a lot of things right. I was really happy to see this bull return to active service, and he's a great combination of high production, good type, ranks well in the breed. So I was really happy about him, as well as here's a bull that different pedigree again, but a bull that I think clicks a lot of boxes. 7H14059 Synergy Walton. He's a Heisenberg son. Heisenberg's been a great customer satisfaction bull. They're great cows. They're just balanced. He puts a lot of width and frame into cows. People like him. You combine that with not a high milk bull, but Montross knows how to make cows milk, and this family knows how to milk. And so Montross Delsey is from Synergy. The NextGen's a very good super sire. You see in the center there in her udder photo, multiple generations of screaming high production in this cow family. So he adds more milk than Heisenberg did himself, good components, a lot of daughters at 181. He's a breed leader for DPR at 2.5. Again, right tight to 2 points in udders. And then when you add in A2 and BB kappa casein, fits the robot and feed pro designations. This is a bull that I looked at on proof day and said, this is an SMS bull. This is a bull that got use in our mating program because it's a little different. He's going to work on the frazzled blood. He's going to work on a lot of different cows that are out there, work on the docks, quite frankly. This is a bull that I was really excited to see come in. The top daughter there is out in California that we got pictured earlier this winter. But I think this is a really exciting bull. Ranks in the top. He's 52nd on the TPI list. So again, a bull that brings something different to the table. I was really happy to see him graduate.
Yeah, a nice bull at 52nd on the list, and another new graduate just a couple spots above him is Zeb. Morning View Jedi Zeb is number 50 on the proven sire list at 27-13 this time, and a bull that, as you look at his data, solid production proof, solid component bull, probably a little bit more of a fitness trait specialist. He's got that Mastitis Resistance Pro logo with a 265 somatic cell, 2.0 on mastitis, and 101 on zoetis mastitis. This bull's been a great fertility bull at 1.4 on sire conception rate. So it's a nice solid addition. Jedi out of an excellent Yoder. The dam is pictured there in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. As you might expect, when you put Jedi Yoder together, you're going to get a straighter leg, and that's showing up so far in the first 20 daughters scored. I haven't personally seen a lot of these Zebs milking yet, so we'll see how that trends on this bull. But a really solid high TPI bull. Anytime you see a bull with a Z in his name, you think, does it maybe go back to the old Rudolph Zip cow family? And certainly it does. So, and that's where a lot of these fitness traits are coming from. Back in that pedigree, former #1 productive life cow in the breed, and it continues to breed on through multiple generations away from that wonderful cow. So a nice solid new graduate for us in Zeb. Stephen, you asked a question here, any good red type bulls coming, and Rusty is one of them, and we're going to talk about several more here later on throughout the day, but very exciting to have another graduate from Morning View in Rusty Red. He's a Pat Red son out of a very good Aikman. He's the number 5 TPI bull in the breed, joining his sire Pat in Rager, right there at the top of the red proven sire list. So here's a bull that traces back to the famous Roxy family through the Tony Ray branch. 284 daughters, a lot of data in this bull. Beautiful udders, 1.7 on udder composite, and a really, really good foot and leg composite bull as well. We sold a lot of Rager semen, and this bull just coincidentally is going to complement Rager daughters so nicely to continue to move the red population forward. So really excited about this high-ranking proven red bull to add back into our program and give you some great opportunity to use one of the very best Pat sons now.
And that high sire conception rate means he's going to make pregnancies too. And I think this is a real good addition to it, right at the top of the charts in reds. Steve, you asked about any good red type bulls coming, and Rick mentioned it. We're going to get to one here in a moment. One that I like an awful lot is Warrior Red, and there's a couple of his daughters photoed here that did so well last year. We're going to talk a little bit about the showcase for a moment, and so I look at this program in terms of what it's generating and what folks are telling us of what directions we want to go, and we try to move in that direction. And balance has been key, and really not focused on making the #1 bull of the breed just for type. They got to be more than that. They have to have something more to offer with his great pedigrees. And another bull that added a lot of data, we talked about him last time, graduated, went up in his type proof with more. Has just an astonishing, like 96% of his daughters in Canada are scoring good plus or better, is Tattoo. You can see that he fits more than just showcase. He's a mastitis resistance pro bull, and that's always been this bull's calling card. Low somatic cell, great zoetis mastitis, great CDCB mastitis, on top of that pleasing type. But he moved up in both PTAT and his udder composite, actually gained about 250 pounds of milk this time, so he did really, really well. And a lot of it is these really, really good daughters you see pictured. We talked about them last time. But that cow at the bottom of the screen, that Tattoo of Mike Duckett's, this is her just a few months later at the show in Circleville last week. She was reserve grand champion as a senior 2-year-old in milk. She's due back in July as a second calf senior 2. and you can see how much her rear udder has changed, how her frame has changed. I know Mike and Julie love this cow, and she's just developed immensely. And I think that's what Tattoo's going to do, is he's just going to continue to get better and better and better. But the other bulls we want to talk about in the showcase today, and I'm going to turn it over to Rick here, is we brought some bulls in that I think really move the needle differently in the breed, particularly in sire stacks. First bull Rick's going to talk about, no Goldwyn, no McCutcheon, no Dorman in his pedigree. And I'll not steal any more of your thunder, Rick, and why don't you tell them about bulls. These next 3 bulls will all be available in May. So we're kind of giving you a sneak preview. The semen should be in the field in the next 3 weeks to 30 days.
Hey, you can keep on going. Showcase is your sandbox, and I know you love to play in it. But
that's all right. Hey, you're helping me by getting these bulls. So you talk about it.
You know, when you have bulls like Tattoo and certainly Doc that have been tremendously successful, obviously you need something to breed them to, right? If you want to continue on and move the dial forward and push forward. And we've got a couple of really exciting bulls, in particular, 250H 15397 AOT Homecoming. Here's a bull for May release, so it's going to be a few weeks before semen actually hits the field. But I think when you look at Tattoo and especially King Doc and where do you go next and what do you breed him to, here's the solution. Here's the answer. Homecoming is a Spartacus son out of the cookie cutter Habitan cow. And Habitan is without a doubt one of my all-time favorites for what she's done from an elite TPI type standpoint, a cow that really has the ability to cross over. And I just saw Habitan last week. She's pregnant. She's due again this summer. Hey, we'll see what happens. Maybe she will be that cow that one of the greatest cows to have never shown that might get there, but I don't want to jinx anything. But with Homecoming here, you look at this bull's qualities. So here you got an elite type bull at 2.5 on type, 2.4 on 7, udder composite, flawless linear profile. But he does all the things that we've been trying to correct in the showcase program. He's correct from a rump structure standpoint. He's a high DPR bull at plus 1.7, good fertility index, low somatic cell, good mastitis resistance. He's A2, he's BB kappa casein, and he's 2,900 TPI as well. So you don't want to predict that this could be the next King Doc, but he's made a lot like King Doc was as a young bull in terms of his genomic profile. And I think a bull, it's just, you see the bull in the upper part of your screen. You see Habitan on the bottom side. A bull that just spells balance, correctness, and a really, really exciting new addition here with this May release showcase selection, Sire.
The day he came out, I told you, tell Tom he's going to be showcased because it just does what we've been searching for with alternative pedigree and all those good things.
Yep. The other exciting new release bull here, a May release once again, is Cadillac, King's Ransom D Cadillac. And a year or so ago, we had that kids with cows theme. And well, Jeff and Becky King have some kids and they like to show. And so you've seen some pretty nice success here in how they've done in the Tambark with what they've developed in that portion of their breeding program. And Cadillac, I think, is a really exciting King Doc son. Fairly particular on the late King Doc sons that we brought into the program, a line bred bull at that, being out of an 88-point King boy daughter herself. And you see her cantaloupes in the upper portion of your screen. The next dam is the world famous 95-point Mogul Cleavage, and then a 92-point Goldwyn Classy. So a full pedigreed bull here. Again, 3.27 on type, 272 on udders, and 900 pounds of milk. So we're going to get all that type without compromising overall milk production, and just a beautifully balanced pedigree with high classification scores, world famous cow family, and a really, really exciting late edition Doc son here to join our showcase program.
I just look at this bull and think Dempsey and Gold Chip and all those bulls that we still have a lot of daughters out there. This bull just is going to cross so well on them. Another Roxy. Just love the way the bull's bred, and I'm really excited to see folks get the chance to use them. Steve, we finally got to your question. Any good red type bulls coming? Ron Burgundy is going to be available next month as well. And Ronald has been one of my all-time favorites. And we'll finish out this afternoon with some other red Ronald sons. But from a showcase respect, this bull just found to me was appealing in the sense that, again, he fits like tattoo, that mastitis resistance theme. He's 3.5 on CDCB. He does so well there. He's got a balanced type proof, being 2 on both udders and feet and legs. And he's from majority daughter. She's already, it's not on your screen, but she's already very good as a 2-year-old. The next dam is pictured there. She's a 92-point integral right out of Apple. And with the influence that Diamondback has had and all the great things that we've had in our program, this bull to me just felt like the right one to bring in. Again, I think he's, again, going to fit on Ragers. He's going to fit on that Rager red blood. He's just going to do a lot of things right that I thought he was a really good addition. And with that mastitis resistance, he just, to me, felt like a really logical bull to bring in.
Well, Kevin, let's shift gears just a little bit into the next section of our program, and that's the NextGen program. NextGen's been a very exciting program as we've rolled it out now over a year ago in delivering our very best genetics to the market at a very young age on these high and elite bulls. The first bull we'll feature here is none other than Game Day. Game Day has been one of those shining stars in our program, is perpetually always ranked at the very top of the breed. He's our #1 TPI bull. He's our #2 overall net merit bull. He scores extremely well at 1,019 for HHP dollars. You know, this is the direction that we're trying to take with HHP dollars in this kind of bull, with great mastitis resistance, yet solid all-around production and anticipated solid all-around type. Game Day is a bull that we've used very, very aggressively as a mating sire. The last month or so, our very first calves have been born. Genomic results have come back, and let's just say they have not disappointed us so far. So we're very much looking forward to Game Day's continued contribution and to our genetic program and our genetic future, but also equally excited to have a bull at $899 net merit and $3,043 readily available to those participants in the NextGen program. And if you haven't signed up for the program yet today, or you're still not sure what it's about, you know, I would encourage you to talk to your sales rep, talk to Kevin or I or Jordan Seamers or anybody in the Sire team, because I think it's a great program to provide you very affordable access to the breed leading and cutting edge genetics. And we have several other bulls here, Kevin, that you're going to touch on that I think fall right in line and complement Game Day very nicely.
Yep. 7H15085 Perfect. A bull that people ask when is he going to come out of NextGen. We can't keep up with the supply at the moment as it is. So he's going to be here for a while, and he's still one of the breed's best. This bull is bred so differently with no frazzled blood, no modesty, no Jedi. Just he's so easy to use, having being one of our best renegade sons from a now 91-point Delta Lambda. Just got scored here a couple weeks ago. That's a new photo of her mother from the rear. And when you are this positive on nearly every trait, A2, BB, 2 points on type, right type to 3,000 GTPI, and then your mother looks like this. This is a photo of 27.856, the day that she was scored. So you're seeing her just the way she was the day that she got classified. And this cow is just so impressive. When I saw her in February fresh the second time, I went back in the pen the second time, and the herdsman said, "Why do you keep looking at that cow?" And I said, "Because the cows like this make me want to get up in the morning and do my job." So when a bull mother looks this good, you really have to admire it. And I've been really excited about Perfect, and the same way can be said for Conway. Ben is as tight a demand bull as we've had in this program, and we're pushing him to his biological limits, but he's doing well making semen. It's just a matter that demand is there. But again, 160 pounds of combined fat protein, clicks every box in fitness. Great in the mastitis side. Fits our Robot Pros designation. He's A2, he's BB. And I will tell you, these two bulls, what they've delivered on the male side is going to be extremely exciting, because they dominate the top of our young calf list, or these Perfect and Conway calves that we've brought in the last 90 days and got results. And it's always a smile every Tuesday when we get to see the next wave of Conways and Perfects.
Yeah, definitely, Kevin. And the next bull, Heliogen. Here's a bull that has really just been Mr. Consistency since he entered the NextGen program. The bull just doesn't move. He's now our 4th highest TPI bull in our total program. He's number 8 for HHP dollars at 1,011. He's one of our early legacy sons out of just a great cow, Hopeland, the 87-point reasons down in the right-hand side of your screen. And she's another kind of cow that, just like you said, Kevin, just makes you stop. You see her walking in the freestall and that just wide-chested, powerful front end and welded on udder and good feet and legs, and you just want more like her. And Heliogen is certainly her exciting son. He is tremendously low somatic cell bull, high mastitis resistance bull. He has that mastitis resistant pro label, fitness trait specialist. The linear profile is what a lot of people are telling us they want: medium size, moderate frame cows, and then really good udders with a little added teat length. And Heliogen is certainly a bull that provides that very, very nicely. And he comes with a little added bonus of a pretty high score in Germany too. So he's going to convert well to a lot of the European indexes, just as an added bonus on that front. The other legacy son that I'm pretty excited about in the NextGen program is Drive, King's Ransom Legacy Drive. A little segue here. We talk about art a lot in our female program, and not coincidentally, that was a little bit after the art of fine breeding. And, I just got done talking about Cadillac as a showcase selection bull, and now we come back with King's Ransom on the breeding side of one of our really elite overall indexing bulls in Drive. 3,000 points. He's our number 1 legacy son for TPI. Dam's an 83-point freeborn daughter, very good modesty, and then an outstanding 93-point grand dam and King Boy Delicate on the bottom right-hand side of your screen there. So a great cow family that's been doing it for years at King's Ransom. Another one of those linear profiles that you like to see, moderate frame, tremendous udder predictions, and that's what that family consistently provides us. He's an A2 sire. He's BB on Capicasine. He's been a very popular bull for us as a mating sire. We used him a lot and extensively as a mating sire. And some of you might say, okay, 2 legacy sons. What about legacy? I can tell you, after being out for 2 weeks and seeing about 15 of them in milk, he will have a proof in August. And what I saw is very, very encouraging, and especially good udders. So I think the future is looking extremely good for that part of our sire program, and have a lot of confidence in moving forward very aggressively with Drive and Heliogen here at this point.
And I'd echo your comments. These legacies have been very pleasing, what we've seen. We don't have production data yet. A lot of them we're seeing, as I said, our eyes are in front of the data, but I'm not disappointed. And if they're all like what I've seen, we're off to a really good start. Apollo 14H 15519. We talked about HHP dollars at the beginning. Here is the number 1 HHP dollar bull, just recently released into NextGen this month. He epitomizes what this program is, or this index is built to do. Breed leading for all mastitis traits, high DWP, high net merit, high TPI. When we're in the business of making bulls, we always want to be able to, everybody says, what do you select for? Ones that hit all indexes, and this bull does that. High production at 150 CFP, A2, BB Capicasine. He's a legacy son, saw this cow's mother, this medley, just fresh earlier this winter up at Malaria in Minnesota. She went 82 just fresh. She's going to move up very nicely in her score. The next Dam's a Jedi traces back to the Larcrest Cosmopolitan cow family again through a different fork, through Matt Johnson's fork. But this is a bull, again, that we've used heavily as a sire father, probably a bull we need to use more as a sire father, because I think he's going to move the needle in terms of a direction that we're looking to go, and just does a lot of things right. But I do like his mother a lot. I think she's going to be a great young cow as she moves on. Speaking of great cows, for anybody that thinks that we don't care about pedigrees yet, it's like sires. I guess I just have to say that that's not correct. Because when you have bulls like 7H15 337, Sandy Valley Supercharge, that is out of one of the greatest cows I'll show you in a moment. She's pictured there on the side, Sandy Valley Eternity, one of my favorite cows that I've seen in the last decade, that does nothing but get better and better. making sons, and we have about 8 of them at select sires out of this cow that traces back to such a great cow family, the Sapphires again. But in the case of Supercharged, he had a good day. He's probably a bull that the new TPI formula helped a little bit because he's really high in feed save and feed efficiency. But he's just shy of 29.94 is right side of 3,000. Right at 849 net merit, one of the breed's best for productive life, and does a lot of things right. I love this cow family. This bull's 2 full sisters are making a lot of high calves for us, and we're really excited about that as well. But what the best part of this bull is right here. This is a photo I just pulled off of Danae's Facebook post here a few days ago. This is as recent as a week ago. What this cow looks like in her 3rd lactation. Continues to do her job every day. She's a great foot and legged cow. This is the bull that I really love in terms of what he would do. And I love Supercharged.
Yeah, and another bull that I'm pretty excited about, Legacy Shine. Some of these new introductions to NextGen might be some of the later Legacy sons, but nevertheless, they're some of the best. Shine is a net merit specialist at 871 net merit. He's our number 2 HHP bull at 1,041. A2 BB Kappa casein. Once again, he's kind of got that left-handed to right-handed diagonal linear that so many people around the world are looking for as far as moderate size, but yet really good udders, and it's still going to get you in the right spot on foot and leg composite, and I think Shine is going to do that. He's a bull that is a fitness trait specialist, mastitis resistance at a plus 4.4 and 2.53 on somatic cell score. And here's a bull, talk about getting bulls into the marketplace early. So he's released for purchase in the NextGen program, and yet I just mated 2 heifers to him this morning as what we would call an early release sire. So, these are bulls that are out there in the market. At the same time, we're still making sons and making calves for the future of our program. And I think Shine is really a specialist in what he offers, especially from an economic standpoint, from an extreme net merit and HHP dollars for sure. And then a new graduate into NextGen here, a new release into NextGen is what we believe is one of the highest homozygous polled bulls in the world. And here's a bull, again, to move our polled program forward. We've used them very, very heavily in our art program internally as an early release sire with the breeders that we work with and contracting around the world. But, here is an extraordinarily unique polled bull. He's 2,000 of milk. He's 72 of protein. He's 60 pounds of protein. So he's competitive with his horned counterparts. He's a high productive life bull, great udder composite bull. He's A2. So when we get into a lot of polled markets around the world, that we want the right casein combination, and he provides that as well. And you look at the bull, the picture of the bull himself and his dam on the bottom side of the screen, a nice big smooth bull, and very excited to get this bull into the marketplace and get him introduced. And if you have interest in polled genetics and want to start right at the top, Bedrock PP is the easy solution. He's the easy choice right now, and very, very excited about getting him out to the marketplace to go take us in the right direction.
You bet. Now, there's a couple questions. Brent, you mentioned about teat length, and we've talked about Heliogen and Doc. I think Renegade is still that bull that I think is going to moderate the teat length. I think he's going to do a great job in doing that. His son's Perfect Conway. We're moving that needle, not to the extreme side, but we're getting it to that moderated, and I think that's a good thing. And then the other question, I guess I'll just touch on. Good to see you, Brian. Glad you could join us from Australia. Is there a particular trait? I guess I'll weigh in. You can too, Rick. I mean, it's this mastitis side of things, I think, is what's really been driving us of recent, of trying to find bulls that are going to hit all 3 of those boxes, because we know that that's important. I think the other side is combined fat and protein never goes out of style in my matings. It's probably the first thing I look at when I'm looking at mating a donor is where can we go from that respect. But that's just me. Maybe Rick goes about it slightly differently. It's a good part of our team is we don't all look at it exactly the same.
No, exactly. And I'm going to talk about variation and something different here coming up next, but we don't necessarily all do things exactly the same, which is the nice freedom that we have in the Select Sires family of creating the next generation, because all of our customers around the world are a little bit different too. But, mastitis casings, we're focused on both Kappa and Beta casing, probably a little more so on Kappa casing because it was a little forgotten probably. So trying to increase the frequency of BB bulls is something that we're very focused on in our acquisition program. And, but we don't forget the basics either. The foot and leg mobility, I think is critical in every environment that our herds are working with around the world. Udders never go out of style, and combined fat and protein. So we talk about some new things that maybe we're focusing on, but we're doing that at the same time without trying to lose focus on the basics. Which is basic overall structure of udders, feet, and legs, and high combined fat and protein as well.
And here's a bull that kind of does that payload.
Oh, exactly. And talk about trying to be a little bit different. That was one of the mandates of the ART program early on, was to do something different and create genetics that aren't out there in the everyday world, and do some unique things. And Mark hit it through the roof here, in my opinion, with payload 7H15348. He's a bull that we have pushed and begged and pleaded our breeders to use. It was a little hard to get him used because of this bull called Game Day that we started out to hear just a little bit talking about. But when you talk, for me, a bull, it just checks almost all of the boxes. An Isaku son out of a Matters, out of a Stoic. You see the dam Alexandria on the right-hand side of the screen. She's one of the sweethearts of our ART program. Just a beautiful cow, balanced, dairy strength, great udder. You don't think you could ask for a lot more. And she was certainly one of our favorites. But 72 pounds of protein, if anything, we've noticed a genetic trend that the line for protein has been kind of flat over the last few years with the bulls that we've been using, and we haven't pushed protein quite as hard, ironically, in a year where the value of protein was as high as it's ever been. So payload at 72 pounds is a difference maker there, 166 CFP, good productive life. But you look at what we have in our herds and where, we get the question all the time, where do I go? What can I use? I've used this and I've used that. Well, here's a bull that you virtually can use nearly everywhere. You can use them on Frazzled. You can use them on Mogul, Montross. You can use them on Renegade, Jedi, Helix. I mean, it's just kind of wide open. And yet we're talking about a bull at 29.65, 800 net merit that you don't compromise genetically to do something different and slow down that inbreeding trend in I think a really positive way. And he's sired by a bull in Isaku that, quite honestly, are some of my favorite heifers and breeding age heifers out there right now too. So I like him a lot. Another bull I like a lot that fits that different mode is OCD Hot Job Talon 7H15457. A very unique pedigreed bull here, a hot job son out of an 83 Pinnacle and then a Denver. Wellness trait specialist. You see all the circles and highlights around mastitis and somatic cell and productive life and DPR. Here's a bull. He's an A2 sire. He's 29.63 and he's 2.5 points on udder composite. Just like on payload, wide open on opportunities here. People say, what do I use on my Frazzles? What do I use on my Legacies? What do I use on all my, all those bloodlines? Where do I go next? Well, again, same thing. Use them on Frazzled granddaughters, Moguls, Montrosses, Renegades, Jedi, Helix. Same group of bulls as payload. You can use this bull up and down the road all day long. And with the genetic offering, the wellness traits that he improves upon, mastitis resistance, what we talked about, and just a really, really solid linear profile for the future for type and udder improvement. A really, really exciting bull in our G-Force program.
Well, I'm going to follow the same theme. People want to know what's different. This bull on the screen, 7H15, 523 Parsley. This is Parfect's brother by Town, and Town is a Dino son. Customer satisfaction bull, top 100 TPI sire, gets a little shot of bayonet back in there. Same story, but it's Lambda Paris again. It's out of 27.856. You know the story of this bull. This cow just hits it out of the park. And with 141 CFP, 61 of protein, great fitness traits, A2, BB, and again, wide open palate of what you can use this bull to with a really appealing linear profile. And this cow, as I said before, I mean, I think this picture just says, don't you want to use all of my sons? Because you look at this cow and you just got to really appreciate what she does. I think she's one of the most influential cows of recent here, and she's going to keep cranking them out. And she had a Roseline son last week, so she just keeps doing it. But I think a real unique bull for our program as well. And then to finish up today on the red side of things, back to reds again, we are at the top of the charts in red. Whether you look at red type, we've got three of the four highest bulls in the breed. GTPI wise, these two bulls, Trumpets at 14H 15 369, bred by the same breeder, Ed Peck at April Holsteins, different cow families, but they're both Ronald's sons. So the beautiful part is Ronald's bred in about 15 miles away from this herd, and we've just put the two great families together, and we've got two breed leading bulls. Trumpet bred over 2,800 on GTPI, great on fitness traits, every single one of them clicks every box, ranks high on HHP dollars. Great casings at BB, goes back to the Verdejo cow. Been one of the most talked about red influential cows, that old Shadow Verdejo, and what she did for the red breed. About 5 generations back is where that good cow is to this Helix and named Tabulous, and then Trumpet himself. So with Mastitis Resistance Pro bull we've used heavily as a sire fodder, I'm pretty excited about. And then back to Steve's question, any good red type bulls coming? Can finish up with that in 250H 15 525 McDonald P Red, another red Ronald son, this one out of a Pat, and then an excellent clearance back behind that. It's another beautiful cow family. You can see the mother picture below. Again, similar situations of fitness traits, good TPI, components, but then 2.3 on type and 2.73 on udder composite. Again, been a very, very easy bull to use as a red mating sire. And so we've used these two bulls really, really heavily. But to me, that's a great way to finish the day off at right at the top of the charts in red. No matter what you're looking for, I think we can probably hook you up with bulls that meet those needs. And as you look at the lineup, maybe not every color suits you, but there's going to be something that does, because that's our goal. So I guess we got time for a couple questions if anybody's got them. But as you can see, we thought it was an exceptional day. Particularly with our proven bulls, and I think you're going to see in the next 2 sire summaries just so much data coming that you can with confidence, what we're seeing in the barns and what our breeders are telling us and what they're seeing in their corrals and these young cows calving in, I think the future is really, really bright, because lists and rankings and all the stuff that we've talked to you about is fine, but what happens on your dairy, what the daughters perform, how they improve your profitability is really, really one of the most important things. So questions are out there to see. Rick, I'll let you take this one from RJ.
Yeah, how important is DPR is critical. It's everything. If they don't breed back, especially as the way we're going with beef on dairy and sex semen, if we can't breed an older herd of cows and have those cows calved regularly, nothing else works. So DPR is huge, and it's a big part of what we're doing, and it's maybe one of the reasons why we focused on the combination of traits within the indexes that we do. Some of the indexes don't favor DPR that much, but we definitely do, and try to focus on it very heavily. So it's critical. It's very critical. And
Rick, I'm going to take Harvard's question. Good to see you, Dave. According to Danae, who is she's the one that named the bull. His name is Isaku. That's what it's supposed to be. Now I've heard Isaku, I say Isakau. There's a lot of different ways to say it. The official pronunciation is Isaku. But the good news is Rick saw one fresh last week and he was pretty excited. So no matter what his name is, I think the results will be pretty good.
Yeah, I just call him good. If you're in Japan, you may refer to him as ASIC.
Yeah.
Not to confuse it anymore.
Andrew's got a question there. A2BB highlights. I think there are so many options out there, and that'll be that new genetic selection guide is going to have a lot of them. But there's over 150 different bulls that are A2, and obviously Conway and Perfect, and that now their son's coming of that combination of A2, A2BB, Apollo, Drive. We've been so fortunate. The mating sires that we've been using of recent are that way that we've got a gene frequency that is second to none.
Yeah, and you can easily find all that on our website as well. You know, we talked about several of them today. Shine's another bull that's A2, A2BB. So there's no shortage of selection for quality, high genetic bulls that give you that combination of caseins as well.
Well, looks like we've got through the bulk of the questions. We were right at 60 minutes, which I think Joel wanted us to be there. Want to say thanks again for all your business. Thanks for your faith in us. We like what we do, and we're going to continue to do it. So hope to see you guys down the road, and thanks again for joining us today.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to echo, anytime you get Kevin and I together, if we can do this in 60 minutes or less, it's a miracle. Because we do love what we do, and we love sharing Select Sire's story and what we have to offer. So we look forward to seeing you again in August, doing all this over again, and hopefully with some even better and more exciting results based on what transpires here in the next 4 months. So we're going to get back to work, and our day is not complete or finished, nor is our weekend. And we'll finish up this proof week and get to back on the road and visiting all with you shortly and sharing the great news. So thank you much.